So we're here in the heart of Alsace wine country. 150 million bottles are produced annually here, but only a select and a small percentage are made from Grand Cru vineyards like this one, Rosacker, one of 51 Grand Cru vineyards in Alsace. And it's got the perfect exposure to sun, it's got a nice slope, and it has a perfect draining ability if it rains too much. So we're really in the heart of wine country here in Alsace, near the village of Hunavier, and the name of the vineyard is Rosacker. We're about to go and taste some wines from SippMack, which is a domain that's relatively well known in Alsace, in the southern part of Alsace. They've got 2 Grand Cru vineyards. Grand Cru vineyards are considered the very best vineyards you can find in Alsace. Well, we're going to be trying some wonderful white wines. In Alsace, you have a production of mostly white wine. 90% of the wine produced in Alsace is white.
We are in Grand Cru Rosacker, which is one of the famous Grand Cru that produces mostly Riesling. It's a Grand Cru that is very rich in limestone and clay, which gives the wine a deep minerality after 5 or 7 years.
And Grand Cru vineyards, they only make up 4% of the total production in Alsace.
That's right. It's the selection of the 51 best hills in Alsace. There are 51 Grand Cru. And they have to have a special angle in the sun, always facing east, southeast, never north, having the same geological common ground, etc. There are 12, 15 different points that met to be classified in Grand Cru.
And also you get very little rainfall here. It's a microclimate, isn't it?
Alsace itself is a microclimate. In the east side of France is only 600 millimeter, and behind the mountain they have triple, close to over 2,000 millimeter of rain a year.
And your family goes back 10 generations, now 11. It's SippMack, correct?
SippMack, yeah. Sipp, the name of my father, and Mack, the name of my mother. And when they married in the 50s, they created the SippMack winery. However, 10 generations back, they haven't only lived from the grapes and the wine. They had their orchards, their cows, their forest, etc. So the wine was just a little bit plus, and they specialized in the 60s to make only wine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to tasting some of these wines. Yeah.
Great.
So, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
This is what wine is all about. Having great Riesling, with choucroute. Choucroute is a very typical Alsatian meal. It's the cabbage, right? That is made in Riesling as well, is it?
Yes, normally.
Yeah. Okay. And then what we drink with this meal from Alsace is great Riesling, which is what we're having. We're having the Rosacker wine.
And, I think we don't need, for choucroute, you don't need a top Riesling.
Yeah.
So this time I choose the Riesling Vieillevin 2010, has a nice acidity and a touch of coverage and fatness that will go well with the choucroute.
Right, because the choucroute has also quite a bit of fat too.
Yeah.
You have these different meats
and these different
sausage, hams,
potatoes
as well.
Yeah.
So you need a wine that has acidity.
That has this acidity to go with it.
Right. So that's a very typical Alsatian meal, and that's what wine's about. It's not just tasting wine in like in a laboratory. You want to appreciate wine.
So I'm Carolyn Sipp, and I work with my parents at the domain SippMack. I'm 23 years old. I've been working, since a little girl, I've been on the family estate. So I've been living around the work, my family, like the harvest, I've been living since a little girl. But it's been officially 4 years I've been working with the family. You have to be passionate into going to this business because it's 24 hours on 24, 7 days on 7. And you really have to do your best all the time. You can't just do half best and say, okay, it'll be okay, and people will drink it. It really has to be 100%, even 150%, the best wines you can ever do. So there's lots of stress behind the wines because people drink the wine without you being beside it. So you can't explain, oh, this is a bad year, it's going to be okay, next year is going to be better. It has to be 150% the best.
We're having a 2011 Rosacker. 2011 has a very dry feel to it. It's not high in residual sugar. In making Alsace wines, you sometimes have residual sugar coming after a fermentation. This has very little of that, so it gives you a very dry impression, which is very nice.
Yeah, and fruity, and the kind of grapefruit that comes out.
I would say that I'm very curious to see how it would compare to 2010, because I'm getting an impression that 2010 might have a little bit more of a
complexity.
Energy and complexity to it.
Yeah.
Would you say that 2010 was a better vintage overall in Alsace?
No, not obligatory. You have to give them time. This wine will be sold in about 5 years only.
Okay.
So you have to give them
Give it time. Give it time. Okay, well let's try the 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I may. Thank you. Now 2010 does it have more
higher acidity,
Right, yeah.
and more peps.
I like acidity in wine. I like acidity in my Riesling. Right there, I see that 2010 has this beautiful kind of like a spinal column of acidity. It's just, but it's also clean and pure and precise and vibrant. It's a very vibrant one. It's a beautiful one. 2010 is a really great vintage in Alsace, and I think this Rosacker proves it. It's just hitting it on all cylinders. It's a fantastic wine.
Yeah, we like it a lot.
We're making wines that are whole and pure, and with lots of energy and positive energy, and I think that they're full-flavored and fruity and crisp and great with food. We're selling to about 13 different countries, a lot to Scandinavia. We've just opened markets in Hong Kong and Australia. We do sell in the United States to the area around Boston and to Washington, D.C. We sell to Germany and Belgium and England and Ireland, Italy, a little bit all around in Europe. I would say that we're very, very popular in Scandinavia, in Denmark. The Danes really, really enjoy coming to Alsace, and we have a special relationship with them. Jacques has been going to Denmark twice a year for the last 23 years. He speaks a little Danish now, and we have a special contact. They enjoy coming. It's about 12 hours to come here. And they enjoy coming to Alsace because it's very, very different from Denmark. The gastronomy here is special. There's a lot of hills, so they often come down to do bicycling. And they stay in our apartments and taste the wines for the week, and they become friends. So it's a little bit of a network where people send their friends, send their family, come down for family vacations, and it's become kind of a snowball effect where we know quite a few Danes.
So I just love Alsace. I've had a great time here, specifically in Hunavir, this village with such rich history, 600 inhabitants, and specifically coming to Domaine SippMack. This is my first time here. It was an incredible surprise and lots of fun, great wines. You got to try all their wines, and thanks so much for making this food for us. We had a great time. So be sure to come to Alsace and not only try the wines, but the cuisine as well. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes.
Thank you, Panos.
Thank you, Laura. Cheers.